Okay, I'm going to be reading Sleeping by Katherine Weber. The story is about a situation we are all probably familiar with, which is babysitting. While I'm reading, I want you to pay attention to the setting and the mood created by the details in the story. She would not have to change a diaper, they said. In fact, she would not have to do anything at all. Mrs. Winters said that Charles would not wake while she and Mr. Winters were out at the movies. He was a very sound sleeper, she said. No need to have a bottle for him or anything. Before the Winters left, they said, absolutely, please don't look in on the baby sleeping because the door squeaked too loudly. Harriet had never held a baby, except for one brief moment when she was about 6, when Mrs. Antler next door had surprisingly bestowed on her the tight little bundle that was their baby Andrea. Harriet had sat very still, and her arms began to ache from the tension by the time Mrs. Antler took back her baby. Andy was now a plump 7-year-old, older than Harriet had been when she held her that day. After 2 hours of reading, all of the boring mail piled up neatly on the desk in the bedroom, and looking through a depressing wedding album filled with photographs of dressed-up people in desperate need of orthodonture, Harriet had just ended 2 years in braces and was very conscious of malocclusion issues. While flipping channels on their television, Harriet turned the knob on the baby's door very tentatively, but it seemed locked. She didn't dare turn the knob with more pressure because what if she made a noise and woke him and he started to cry? She stood outside the door and tried to hear the sound of a baby breathing, but she couldn't hear anything through the door except the sound of the occasional car that passed by on the street outside. She wondered what Charles looked like. She wasn't even sure how old he was, why she had agreed to babysit when Mr. Winter approached her at the swim club. She had never seen him before, and it was flattering that he took her for being capable, as if just being a girl her age automatically qualified her as a babysitter. By the time the Winters came home, Harriet had eaten most of the M&Ms in the glass bowl on their coffee table. First all the blue ones, then the red ones, then all the green ones, and so on, leaving in the end only the yellow. They gave her too much money and didn't ask her about anything. Mrs. Winters seemed to be waiting for her to leave before checking on the baby. Mr. Winter drove her home in silence. When they reached her house, she said, "My wife," he hesitated. Then he said, "You understand, don't you?" And Harriet answered, yes, without looking at him or being sure what they were talking about, although she did really know what he was telling her. And then she got out of the car and watched him drive away.